In this section of the book, we're going to look at what it costs to travel. So specifically in 2.1, we're going to look at what it costs to travel by plane. Now, if you do travel by plane or your family travels by plane, I'm sure they take a lot of different factors into consideration when buying those tickets. So, for example, some companies have major hubs in certain areas. It can be cheaper to fly with that particular company than other companies because of the hubs that they have. Some companies also charge you based off of the amount of luggage that you have and how much that luggage weighs. So if you're trying to find a ticket, it might not be cheaper to fly with someone if they charge by the weight and you have a lot of luggage. The price of your ticket will depend on the type of seat you have. So if you fly first class, that's going to be a much more expensive ticket than flying coach. Now in first class, you'll probably enjoy your flight more. You'll have more leg room. You can lay your seat back. You hopefully won't have someone kicking your seat or screaming in your ear. But if you're in coach, it's going to be a much snugger ride. There's going to be a lot tighter quarters, but it'll be a lot cheaper. Another way that you can consider whether or not you're going to save money on your ticket is whether or not you specifically pick where you're going to sit on the plane. So some people really prefer to have a window seat, and if they want to pick that seat, they can, but they can pay an extra fee for it. I know when my family was looking at getting plane tickets, we were concerned about not sitting together, but I found out that legally if your child is, I believe, under the age of 16, then they are required to seat children with parents. If they're over 16, that might not happen, but if they're under 16, they are required to seat you with your parents. So you don't have to necessarily pick your seat if you're flying with your kids. You just have to tell them when you get there that you have kids that you're flying with. Now, the day of the week that you fly out on will also affect the price of your ticket. So Mondays and Saturdays are very expensive dates to fly on. And it seems like Wednesdays and Fridays, hardly anyone wants to fly. So those are much cheaper to buy if you're willing to fly out on a Wednesday or a Friday versus a Saturday or a Monday. The amount of time that you give yourself to booking that ticket can also make a huge difference. So if you book your ticket 3 to 4 months in advance, that's usually a pretty good price break. But if you have to book it within a couple weeks or even a month or two, you're going to pay more money for that ticket. In addition, if you are a last minute addition to a flight, that is typically a very cheap seat. They just want to sell every single seat, and so if they can add you on at the very end, great. If you wait until the very end to get your ticket, you run the risk of them not having seats. But if it's a last minute trip and you decide, hey, I want to go here and I'm just going to fly, you could do that right at the last minute and you would get a great ticket price. And finally, the place that you buy your ticket can affect the price. Now, if you buy your ticket through these discount ticket places like Expedia and places like that, you can definitely get a great deal on your ticket. However, sometimes with these third-party purchasing places, you don't have flexibility. So let's say you buy your ticket and you want to travel, but then eventually you find out you need to change your date. Well, it might not be easy to do if you paid through a third-party vendor than it would be if you went directly with the company itself. So if I were going to buy a ticket from Delta versus buying it on Expedia, I probably would save money on Expedia, but I probably would not be able to change it no matter what if I needed to. One final thing to mention in here is that the book focuses a lot on having price discounts for kids. At the time that this book was published, there probably were price discounts for kids. At this point, though, you are not finding price discounts for kids nearly as much. They found other ways to have discounts, so like luggage. If you don't bring a lot of luggage, you save a lot of money. If you have a ton of luggage, you're not saving much. If you have a kid, maybe they don't really need much luggage. So you can save money those ways, but the actual price of the ticket is not typically cheaper anymore because they're a child. They do, however, let you bring your child on the plane if they're 2 and under, and they might be able to sit on your lap for free. So there are some areas or ways to save money, but in these problems we're going to see, they're going to have some examples that may or may not really apply to us anymore. So let's go on ahead and look at these sample problems. The first sample problem, we have missionaries to Russia are flying with their family. The cost of an adult ticket is $600. Children ages 2 to 11 pay 3/4 of the price of an adult ticket. Children under 2 can fly for free if they sit on a parent's lap. The ages of the children are 13, 11, 9, 6, 3, and 1. The tickets also have taxes and fees that are charged to them at a rate of 10%. What is the final cost of purchasing these tickets? So kind of our first thing we need to figure out is how many of each type of ticket do we need to get? So we've got our adult tickets, and then we've got the child tickets. So we've got 2 parents that are flying. That's easy. Over here we have the ages, and age 13 does not fit into this child's age up here. And so kind of got this child's age right here of 2 to 11. Well, they're older than 11, so they're going to actually have an adult ticket. With the children's tickets, though, we have ages 11, 9, 6, and 3, and those do get the child rate. So we've got 4 tickets there. Now with this 1-year-old child, we don't really need to worry about them, and that's because they're not going to need their own ticket. They can sit on a parent's lap. So the first thing we want to do is figure out how much is the cost of the tickets. So each ticket costs $600, and for 3 adults, if I multiply that out, that gives me $1,800. Now for the child ticket, I still have the $600, but I get a discount. I only have to pay 3/4 of that price. So I have 3/4 of that price, and I'm going to have 4 tickets here. So this is going to be multiplied by 4. And when I multiply that out, that gives me, originally if I had 600 times 4 tickets, that's $2,400. But if I take 25% off of that, that also puts me down to this $1,800. And when I add this together, it gives me $3,600. Now I do have to pay taxes. So I'm going to kind of put an A and a C next to these just so you can see them. I do have to also pay taxes, and that's at 10%. So I'm going to go on ahead and multiply this by 10% to see what taxes I have to pay. Well, when I multiply that out, that gives me $360 in taxes. If I add that to the cost of my tickets, that's going to give me $39.60, and that is going to be my total price for those tickets. We have a missionary family of 6 that is going to fly to Brazil, and the cost per ticket includes a 9% tax, and that ticket itself costs $560. So how much is the cost of the total trip if there are no child discounts? And how much of the price is due to taxes, and how much of the price is due to the base cost of the tickets? So the first thing we need to figure out is how much does everything actually cost? Well, I have 6 passengers, and the price of their ticket is $560. So if I multiply all of that out, I get $33.60. This is the total amount of money that they are spending on this trip in total. The next question I need to ask myself, though, is it says how much is due to taxes and how much is due to the total price base cost of those tickets. So we don't really know how much is due to taxes and how much is due to the base price. So we're going to say the base price is going to be equal to X, and we're going to set up an algebraic problem here. So if I have the base price plus the taxes on the base price, which would be 9% times the base price, that's going to give me $33.60. Now, when I look at this, I really like to factor it because I don't want to have these x's. I need to kind of combine these x's together, really, is what I need to do. So if I were to kind of, I guess not factor it, I could factor it, I could pull the x's out, but I could also just add these together. And when I add them together, if I put a 1 in front of here, it's like saying 1x plus 0.09x gives me 1.09x. And that's going to be equal to 33.60. Well, now I want to get rid of this 1.09 on this side, so I'm going to divide this side by 1.09. I'm going to divide this side by 1.09, and when I do, it gets rid of this, so these are gone. All I have left is x. X equals the $3,360 divided by 1.09, and that's going to give me, if I round it to 2 decimal places, 82.57. Now, that tells me what my base price is, because I set up here base price equals X. X equals 3,082.57. So in order to figure out how much my tax is, I'm going to take my total price that I have, which is $33.60. This is my total. I'm going to subtract off my base of 3,082.57. This is my base, and that's going to give me the amount that I have in taxes that I'm paying. And when I do that subtraction, this is going to give me $277.43.